Alright, y'all, welcome back to the channel. I have been waiting so long to talk about the NBA playoffs and what could possibly go down. It took 82 games for us to know damn near every single first round matchup and play-in game that's gonna happen, and I could finally talk about it with you guys today because it just wrapped up about 15 minutes ago. And in this video, I'm not just gonna be predicting the play-in. I'm not just gonna be predicting the first round. I will be predicting the whole entire playoffs. So I don't want to waste no time. Let's get right into the content. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's get straight into it. And the thing is, with this year's playoffs, it's going to be kind of like last year's playoffs because there has never been more parity in the NBA than there is right now. The only time that you can possibly say that there was more parity was back in the 70s, but let's be real, who the hell is going back to watch that? Because I know I'm not. So in my mind, there has never been more parity in the NBA than there is in today's game, and I have been waiting for this. I remember back a couple years ago I made a video called "The Super Team Era is Over." The things that I was saying in that video kind of run true today.
I really want to get to the later seasons in the NBA. I want to get to like 2023 and 2024 because I want to see the parity change.
I said in that video that I was ready just to get to today's times to where there is parity in the league, because back in the day there were people trying to form super teams left and right, like the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. That's when Russell Westbrook got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Everyone was like, well, we're gonna see a Lakers Brooklyn NBA Finals, and lo and behold, that didn't happen. So I feel like that was kind of the break, and now we really don't know what's gonna go down in these playoffs, and I think the Western Conference is the embodiment of that. We need to start with the play-in. Let's get this out of the way. So with the 7-8 matchup, it's pretty easy for me. The New Orleans Pelicans are going to be hosting the Los Angeles Lakers, and I just kind of got a preview of what that was going to look like. And another time I got a preview of these two teams facing off was in the in-season tournament in the semifinals. We all saw what the hell happened there, and I don't think it's going to be any different here. I think LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be able to propel their team straight to the playoffs. It just feels like every single time I see the Pelicans play the Lakers, they're losing by 30. It really does feel like that, so I'm going to be picking the Lakers here. And for the 9-10 matchup, we have the Golden State Warriors versus the Sacramento Kings. And once again, the last time I seen the Sacramento Kings in a do or die situation, win or go home, when they are at home, Stephen Curry dropped 50 on their heads in the playoffs. And on top of that, the Golden State Warriors, they have been in the play-in before. They have won multiple championships, so they know what that pressure of winning or going home is. They've been in game 7s before. I think the Sacramento Kings will be going home, no playoffs for them. And I do believe that the Golden State Warriors go ahead and finish business to get themselves in the playoffs as well. And I think they do that by eliminating the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't see them making the playoffs. After what they just showed me right here, I don't believe that they will make the playoffs, to be real with you. So that brings us to the 1-8 matchup out west. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who just clinched the first seed today, and they're present for getting that 1 seed, is to be hosting the Golden State Warriors in a 7-game series. Number one, guarding Stephen Curry in a 7-game series is a tough task at that. So whoever is granted the opportunity to guard Stephen Curry in a 7-game series, I will be praying for you, because that right there is hell. Ask anybody who was able to guard Stephen Curry back in the day. They'll tell you they weren't able to guard him. So whoever's next, good luck. But I do believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder will get this done in 6. I do believe that this Thunder team is not going to be anything like what the Sacramento Kings were last season, and I do not believe that the Warriors are anything that they were last season. So I do not think that they're going to be winning this series. I don't know who the hell is going to be able to guard Shea. You might say an Andrew Wiggins. You might put Kuminga on him. I don't know if that right there is going to be able to stop him, because when I was watching the Boston Celtics, and I hate to bring the Celtics up, but when I was watching the Thunder versus Celtics, we were throwing Drew Holiday at him, Derek White at him. We were throwing anybody we can. Jason Tatum had a chance to guard him. Jaylen Brown had a chance to guard him, and he cooked every single one of them. So I would be ignorant to believe that Jonathan Kuminga or Andrew Wiggins, the way that he has been playing this season, would be able to stop Shea just because it's a playoff series. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think the Thunder get this done in 6, and I believe that there will be some changes made in Golden State. Now that the Los Angeles Lakers have that 7 seed, congratulations. You have climbed up the rankings and you were able to win that one game to get you into the play-in. You avoided winning 2 games. Now all you got to do is win 1 game. They finished that. Congratulations, you get the reigning champions. And I do not believe that they will be getting out of the first round if this is the case. Now, there's one thing that I do want to say. I don't expect to get anything right with this playoffs. Anything. And the reason why is because there is so much parity in the league. So when I'm saying, oh, the Denver Nuggets will beat the Lakers, who knows if they're going to beat the Lakers? We all saw what happened last season. They got swept, but it wasn't like a sweep. It wasn't like 130 to 86 sweep. It was more like 104 to 102 type sweep. Every single game was close, so anything can happen in this series. I just believe that Nikola Jokic is on a different level. I do not believe that there are many teams in the NBA, let alone in the Western Conference, who can beat the Denver Nuggets. I don't think that the Los Angeles Lakers are even equipped to stop Nikola Jokic. The only time that we've really seen Nikola Jokic be stopped is in the bubble against the Lakers, but I don't think they have the personnel like they did before to even get that done. So I do think the Nuggets get this done in 6. Let's move on to the 3-6 matchup. This series right here is extremely unpredictable, and I think this is one of the ones that can go either way. I was just talking to my friend about both of these teams that faced off today. It is the Timberwolves versus the Suns, and I personally right now am still thinking about which way I'm trying to go. I'm kind of leaning more towards the Timberwolves, but it can easily be the Suns. And the reason why I say all this is because both these teams are very evenly matched. The reason why I'm leaning more towards the Timberwolves is because of the defense factor. It's because they just got back Karl-Anthony Towns. I do believe that this Minnesota Timberwolves team can slow down some of the scoring that Phoenix does have. Like, I do understand how good they are on the offensive side. I see Grayson Allen shooting like 47% from the three-point line. It could be even more. I know what it could be like when you have to respect a Bradley Beal, a Devin Booker, a Kevin Durant, and you can't necessarily double one of them because one of them is going to be open, and you cannot leave one of these people open with single coverage because God knows what can happen. But I just like the mix of what the Timberwolves have. I think they have some offense in Karl-Anthony Towns. I think they have some scoring off their bench in Naz Reid. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been amazing all season long. I think that he is going to be a really, really big piece for this Timberwolves team in this playoff run. And I don't think that the Suns will be able to match what this Timberwolves team is about to give them. And I think that the grit is just going to be on the Timberwolves side. So I am going to be picking the Timberwolves, but I do believe that it's going to be a very, very close series. So I got them winning in 7 games. And in my opinion, this 4-5 matchup between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers is going to be one of the best matchups that we will see all playoffs. And in my personal opinion, I think that this is going to be the best first round matchup that we will see, because this is the third time that we've seen these two teams face off. The stars of both these teams have not changed. This is still going to be Luka Doncic versus Kawhi and PG for the third time, but the personnel has changed, and I think this time around Luka Doncic has better personnel than what he had before. Like, I do understand the last time that they met up, they did have Kristaps, and Kristaps did not have a good series. I remember they were sticking that man in the corner, and he was not doing a damn thing but shooting the basketball and missing. It was kind of bad. But now I feel like Luka Doncic has guys that complement him more. I do believe that we're walking into the series not necessarily knowing what Kawhi Leonard's health is going to look like, so we don't know if the Clippers are going to be at full strength or not. And I do believe that right there changes the way that I'm looking at this series. Now, if they have Kawhi, I would kind of be leaning more towards the Clippers in this sense, but I do see Luka Doncic being able to get past them finally. And it's gonna get nasty, bro. It's going to get nasty because I know the Los Angeles Clippers starting center is going to be shaking in his boots, because once that switch happens, once Luka Doncic gets this man into a pick and roll, he's gonna be like, damn, I gotta worry about this for another 7 games. It's gonna get disgusting out there for Ivica Zubac. Trust me on that. And I also think with the way that this Dallas Mavericks team has been playing these past 35 games versus what the Clippers have been giving me is 2 completely different things. On one side, I see consistency. On the other side, I see injuries and drop-offs in numbers. So with all that being said, I do believe the Dallas Mavericks will be moving on to the next round. I think they get it done in 7 games, and it's going to get disgusting when Luka Doncic marches into Staples Center and says, oh, this is y'all's last game in this building. Let me make it a memorable one for y'all. And he goes in there and he drops 40, 10, and 10 and sends their asses packing. That's gonna be fun to me. So now that we're moving into the second round, the Dallas Mavericks find themselves going against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that right there is what I need. I am longing for this series because you give me Luka Doncic versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and J-Dub, I'm going to eat that up. A lot of people would be expecting me to pick the Oklahoma City Thunder in this series because of how vocal I've been about the Oklahoma City Thunder all season long. I am going to pick the Dallas Mavericks. I just trust Luka Doncic down the way. I've seen him go to the Western Conference Finals with less. I've said this at the beginning of the season. If you give Luka Doncic just some pieces, you give Jason Kidd some pieces, he will be able to make a very good defense, and Luka Doncic will be able to take you to places that you never thought that you'd be able to go at the place that you're at. I understand how good this Oklahoma City Thunder team has been, and I can see them going to the Western Conference Finals. But if they match up against Luka Doncic, I just do not see how they would be able to get it done. I think that this is where the lack of experience would come in, and these words can come back to bite me, and I'll be completely fine with that. But I just see the Dallas Mavericks ending up in the Western Conference Finals once again. And with this next series, the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's a very, very intriguing one. These two teams faced off last season, and if I recall, Jokic did say that this is the team that gave them the most problems. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so if they're looking better than what they were looking last season, imagine the problems that they're going to give them this season. And we got a little bit of a preview of that a couple weeks ago. If that is the preview of what we're going to be getting in the playoffs, I don't see the Timberwolves going to the Western Conference Finals. I just don't see that being the case. I think the Denver Nuggets do get this done. Once again, I do not believe that a Rudy Gobert or a Jaden McDaniels, if you want to throw him on him, I don't think that that stops Nikola Jokic one bit. You could double him, you could do whatever you want with him. It will not work, especially when you give him a chance to fight for something like an NBA championship. There's nothing else this nigga cares about in the game of basketball. He don't care about All-Star. He don't care about MVP. All he cares about is a championship, and you're giving him something to fight for. I think that he gives the Wolves work in 6 games. I do think that Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Naz Reid, some of their offensive scoring that they do have on this team, I think that they will try their absolute hardest to keep up with the Denver Nuggets. But I think at the end of the day, the lack of offense that they have, especially in the half court, is going to be a hindrance to this Minnesota Timberwolves team. And now that we're in the Western Conference Finals, the Dallas Mavericks versus the Denver Nuggets. And I think you guys know where this is going. I believe that this is where Luka Doncic fails to get to the finals once again. I think Nuggets get this done in 6 games. I think it's pretty obvious that Jokic is going to have one of his best series against his Dallas Mavericks team. I don't think that there's anybody on the team, regardless of if it's a center or a forward, a wing, whatever you want to say, nobody on that team can guard Nikola Jokic. And I believe when it comes to both of these teams' supporting casts, I just trust the Denver Nuggets supporting cast a little bit more than I do with the Dallas Mavericks, because number one, the cohesiveness is there. The well-oiled machine has been there. This is a team that already won a championship, and I think that they have shown you time and time again that they can get it done. Now, this team that the Dallas Mavericks just have, their supporting cast just got put together this season. So to make it to the Western Conference Finals would be something to applaud, because in my personal opinion, that would be overachieving. But I do trust the Dallas Mavericks to show teams in the West why they should be feared, which is why I do believe that the Denver Nuggets will win, but I think it takes 7 games to get it done. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, we have the 7-8 matchup. The 76ers will be at home going up against the Miami Heat. And once again, the Miami Heat find themselves in a play-in position, and I do think they find themselves in a win or go home scenario once again, because I do think that Joel Embiid and the 76ers will be able to get this done. As for the Hawks and as for the Bulls, I don't really give a damn about either of these teams. I'm just going to be picking the Bulls because I think that overtime will give them a little bit more confidence going into the play-in, and I think the way that the Atlanta Hawks just went out against the Pacers, letting them score as many points as they did on their heads, I think they're cooked. I think they're going to get bounced out, which means we have the Heat and we have the Bulls as the final game for the Eastern Conference play-in, and I think that the Miami Heat get this done, as you guys already know. Now we don't have to waste no time on that. Let's get to the 1-8 matchup, which is the Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. My Boston Celtics. I think we're going to be getting this done, but I feel like I have to put some respect on the Miami Heat's name. I think we're going to be getting it done in 6. This could easily be a sweep. This could easily be a 5-game series going both ways, because a lot of people want to say that the Boston Celtics don't have some sort of grit. They don't have any sort of dog in them to get past this Miami Heat team. I don't believe that to be the case, because we've shown that we can get past the Miami Heat when they were at their best, when they were a first seed in 2022. I believe we get it done in 6. If somehow, some way, Jimmy Butler turns into the second coming of Christ, as I always say, and he ends up dropping 35 on our head, and they just incorporate the Jason Tatum rules in their style of defense, I'm gonna be pissed off. If all of a sudden Haywood Highsmith, Drew Smith comes into the game out of nowhere, drops 5 threes. Nikola Jovic gives us 25 points. Caleb Martin comes off the bench, gives us 17 a night. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I will probably crash out. I will see red. But I think the Boston Celtics get it done for my own sake. The 2-7 matchup between the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers is going to be a fun one. But in my personal opinion, I think that this series is going to end fairly quick. I just don't trust in the Philadelphia 76ers this season. And the reason why is more so for continuity issues. Joel Embiid missed tons of time. He only played half the season. And I think with him just getting back into the mode of playing basketball games and getting his legs underneath him, it's gonna take some time, and I don't think that the playoffs is the right time to, get those reps in. You feel me? So I do think the New York Knicks will make work of the Philadelphia 76ers, and this is one that I could easily be wrong about, because Nick Nurse is a better coach. I think Joel Embiid is a better player than Jalen Brunson, who will be their best player on the basketball court. It could easily just come down to that, and the Philadelphia 76ers can see themselves in the next round. But I do believe with the New York Knicks having home court advantage, I do see them winning those first 2 games and potentially stealing one in Wells Fargo Center, going back to Madison Square Garden and ending it there. So I do have the New York Knicks winning that in 5. And this is a series that I have been waiting for. This is a series that I have been praying we get, is the Indiana Pacers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. And as of right now, the Milwaukee Bucks are in shambles. They just had a really, really tough loss against the Orlando Magic, and it doesn't necessarily look like they're going into the playoffs with the right momentum that they were possibly looking for. Giannis, he's out. We don't even know if he's going to be able to play game 1. Hopefully he's able to play game 1, but we don't even know if he's going to be 100%. That calf injury is something that I would look at, because the last time I seen somebody have a calf injury like that, he ended up coming back in the NBA Finals and tearing his whole entire Achilles. And we do not want that to happen, especially to Giannis. But that doesn't really change shit for me. I think the Milwaukee Bucks get this done. I think it's going to take more games than they thought it would be able to take. I think they get it done in 5. I think the Indiana Pacers only take 1 game from them. I feel like with this 4-5 matchup, a lot of people are going to be overlooking it because it is the Cavaliers and it is the Orlando Magic. But I think that this is going to be a very good defensive matchup that a lot of people will be surprised when they watch. And the reason why I say it is because this is going to be Paulo Banchero's first time in the playoffs, and I am really intrigued to see what he can look like. I do want to see if they are going to up Jonathan Isaac's minutes, because he is one of the main reasons why they have one of the best defenses. Jamal Mosley is a very underrated coach, and he's going to be able to show a lot of people what he can do. Jalen Suggs, with that home court advantage, those first 2 games is going to be absolutely electric. I like Joe Ingles. I don't know if he's going to be getting much run, but from what I have seen, he has been living up to the hype that I have placed upon him at the beginning of the season. I see the Magic winning this. I really do. Like last season, with Donovan Mitchell. He didn't really play up to the standards that you would want him to play. Jared Allen screaming the lights are too bright. We don't know what Evan Mobley's going to be looking like. This team is just up in the air with me. I'm just never too high on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I'm never too low on them. And I do believe that they lose another first round series, which possibly leads Donovan Mitchell out of Cleveland. Going on to the second round, the semifinals, the Boston Celtics find themselves going up against the Orlando Magic, and I think that this is going to be a very, very tough series for the Boston Celtics when it comes to the offensive side because of how good Orlando's defense is. I believe that they are a top 5 defense in this whole entire association, so it is going to be a little bit tough on the Boston Celtics, but I think that this is where the Orlando Magic's inexperience comes in, and the Boston Celtics finish this in 5 games. Boston Celtics going into the Eastern Conference Finals with some sort of health, with some sort of stamina. I love to see that. The Boston Celtics don't have to run into the New York Knicks in the second round. We have to wait until we see the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, because I do believe that they beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think they get it done in 6 games. I think Jalen Brunson is going to show people why he is one of the best point guards in this whole entire league, why he's a top 5 point guard in this league, and I think that he does it by beating Giannis Antetokounmpo and them boys in Milwaukee. And I think that he's going to have to meet the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I personally think Boston Celtics get it done. It's going to be a long series. It's going to be a 7-game series. And I think with that 7th game being in Boston, that is what is going to help the Celtics get to the NBA Finals. It's going to be a tough series. Trust me when I say that. With that Eastern Conference Finals series, it's going to be so fun to watch because I'm going to be watching my favorite player go up against my favorite team. So either way, I'm going to be excited. Like, if the New York Knicks end up beating my Boston Celtics, my favorite player is proving people why he is one of the best in the game, and he's going to the NBA Finals after he was doubted by a lot of people. But if they don't, my favorite team is in the NBA Finals, and we have a chance to get it done and show people that we can get it done when it matters the most. And I do believe that that happens, because when the Boston Celtics meet the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals, they will be getting this done, and they will get it done in 7 games. The thing is, with the 7th game being in Boston, just like the New York series that I just explained, it's going to be something different because we know how Jason Tatum performs in Game 7s. Do not let that Game 7 against Miami at home fool you. When that man rolled his ankle the first play of the game and he shot 5 for 13, that is an anomaly game because Jason Tatum is 5-2 in Game 7s, averaging damn near 30 a night when he is in that position. So I do think that when he's in this position in Game 7, he's going to be thinking, I can't let what happened in 2022 happen again. I got to go get my first chip. And I think that that's what the Boston Celtics are going to do. Boston Celtics, your NBA champions in 2024. Banner 18 will be hung. And that's all I got. Let me know who you guys think is going to be able to win the NBA championship this season. Let me know some upsets that might happen in the first round. Let me know some sleeper teams in the comment section below. Sound off. And I'm about to sign out. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I'm out. Peace.